Is everyone else bored? I mean, no wonder why they only have 13. They have nothing here this episode. So let's see what happens next week. Everybody has been slipping into my DMs to address this whole thing with John Fuda. So where do we begin? And then I want to address, I see both sides of this. So basically, this has come out that, and look, there are two sides to this. Everyone's going to have a visceral reaction. People are, well, let's talk about the facts first. So John Fuda's issues, and I'm just reading off a blog that reposted this, a bunch of different blogs. I'm summarizing. We all know that he was accused of selling, being the biggest drug dealer in Bergen County and selling pot when he was in high school. Now it has come out that John Fuda has been arrested in 28 for a violent home invasion involving 5 victims bound with duct tape at gunpoint. This isn't really helping Rachel Fuda's case. I'm telling you, it's over for New Jersey. It's over. Let's talk about the bigger issues afterwards. They were bound with duct tape at gunpoint. So John, however, was never convicted. So let's keep that in mind. New Jersey's The Herald News published an article on Wednesday. This is back November 5th, 2008, regarding a crime in Passaic County. The headline stated 3 arrested in home invasion. Cops say victims bound with tape at gunpoint. Details of the crime: 5 people were bound with duct tape at gunpoint during a home invasion. 3 suspects were caught in the neighborhood, but police say they believe 4 more were at large. John DeTria, now John Fuda, so his old name is John DeTria, and 2 others face charges of robbery, theft, and unlawful possession of a gun and drugs. The 3 are being held, $250,000 bail. They said that what happened is 7 people inside 2 cars pulled up to an apartment. 2 24-year-old roommates were entertaining 3 female guests. The 3 people kept watch outside. So 3 people were outside. The other 4 were the intruders. They kicked in the door of the apartment, rushed in, brandishing guns. They allegedly offered all 5 victims to get down on the kitchen floor, and they were bound with duct tape. Rowan said the suspects then demanded one of the male residents to take them to a location of a stash of drugs and money. When the victims did not cooperate, the suspects pistol whipped and kicked. I was never convicted and charges were dismissed, John said. Some of the online trolls tried to twist this information, stating this was the reason why I changed my name. John said this had nothing to do with his name change. Instead, he explained, my last name is Fuda because of my parents' divorce. When I was a baby, my mother had immense support from her side of the family. So a lot of people, the tree huggers, and I really, when I tell you, have no side in this, I really don't. I truly do not have a visceral care one way or another. I'm just giving you the facts. This doesn't make me hate the Fudas, doesn't make me like them. I'm just going to give you the 2 sides. So the tree huggers, anyone that is a fan of Teresa, is so outraged about this. There is this narrative out there that, I don't know, that Bravo didn't even know this, that Bravo is shocked to find out this information, which, I mean, a police record is like buying an apartment. It's not that hard to find out. But that Bravo is shocked to find this out. This is a criminal. We have a criminal on our show. He is a bad man. Look what he did to all of these people. He is an evil criminal. They're also saying that, yes, this is why he changed his last name. He wanted to escape. And you know why I don't have a side? Because you can't get through to the tree huggers and you can't get through to the pro-Melissa people. So there's no sense. There's nothing that I'm going to say here that will convince someone one way or another. So again, I don't give a shit, just giving you the facts. So the tree huggers are saying this is absolutely why he changed his name. Bravo didn't know. John never talked about this. This was his deep, dark secret, and it has been exposed. Now, it has come out also that John did a live show, a live podcast show with Rachel. Him and Rachel were guests. I forgot where, but there is this clip going around where he actually did mention this and said, I have a shady past and drugs, and he talked about being arrested for this home invasion. So John is saying that's not why I changed my name, And I already talked about this and I admitted this, and this is trying to be spun in a way. Now let's talk about, so people are outraged, the tree huggers. Everyone wants me to be outraged. Nothing outrages me because nothing shocks me. Now, let's talk about all the people that are anti-Teresa. They have an actual answer for this whole thing. And they are saying that, and this is where I really do think I need to bring Melissa's old nose back. Good news for all of you who loved her. It was one of our highest rated episodes. Bad news for everyone that hates her. And she doesn't even go by Melissa's old nose anymore. Her name is Gabriella. She has a new social media handle. But the point is, she has come forward and said that Teresa and her camp, Jim Leonard, the lawyer, many say he's unethical, Jennifer Aiden, all the ones that are working with the bloggers, and they were working with her. She is saying that way back when they tried to leak this fact about John Fuda because they wanted it on the show. So Melissa's old nose is saying, and we're going to bring Melissa's old nose back on to get to the bottom of this. She's saying that Teresa and camp contacted her way back when and wanted her to investigate this and find this information out. And she tried to find it out, but she couldn't find it out because the last name was different, Diatria. She says she has receipts and screenshots that Teresa then said, you're searching under John Fuda. That's wrong. Search under John Atria. Why Teresa can't search herself, we know that. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but why the lawyer and all them? I mean, they don't want blood on their hands, I guess. So they tasked Old Nose, which is not her name anymore, and some of the other bloggers that were on their, payroll, so to speak, to look into this. And apparently they're saying that they couldn't find the information on Fuda at the time. And then they found it after the fact. And it was during this season. So that they were going to, I guess, try to put it out during this season. But what I think they're saying is they weren't going to put it out during the season, that Teresa had an envelope and she was going to bring this envelope to the reunion this year so we could see the whole thing. Teresa's going to be vindicated at the finale. We're going to learn in the next two episodes. Margaret was behind the whole thing with Vanessa. Margaret worked with her to get the restraining order against Louie. She was going to be vindicated. Margaret's bad. And that then at the reunion, not only was Teresa going to have her day with Margaret, she was going to prove that everything she's been saying about the Fudas is true because Teresa's going to pull out the envelope and say, look what I found. John Atria arrested, home invasion, duct tape, violence, guns. Shocker, Teresa, the reunion is canceled. So now what Gabriella, who ran the old Melissa's old nose, is saying is that when the reunion was canceled and they have this alternate thing that was just filmed, Teresa's in one room. She's in a room with her people, Jen Aiden and Jackie. And then in the other room is basically everyone else, and Dolores is floating between the two rooms. That Teresa went to the alternate place to film the reunion this past Monday. It was like a week ago. It wasn't this past week, but Teresa went to this alternate thing in the room with Jennifer Aiden and Jackie, and she said, I have a manila envelope. So what she was going to bring out is all of this information at this alternative reunion, and producer said, no, no, no. Just like Amy Winehouse, producer said, you cannot bring out the manila envelope. This is the whole reason we're not having a reunion. We're not having a reunion because you all have investigators and manila envelopes, and it is toxic and it is dirty and it is below hand. So when Teresa went to bring out the envelope, which she asked Melissa's old nose to find this information out a year ago, old nose couldn't, otherwise known as Gabriella. They found it out too late. Teresa was going to bring the manila envelope and expose all this stuff about Fuda at the reunion. The reunion is canceled. Teresa brought it last week to the alternate reunion in a room with Jennifer Aiden, next to Jennifer Aiden, Jackie Goldschneider, and said, I have an envelope. All this was in the envelope. Producer said, no, no, no. You cannot bring out a manila envelope. Shame, shame. You've been accused of bloggers. Jennifer's leaking screeners. Margaret's doing God knows what. She's under the bed. Her ass is up in the air. She has 300 finstas